Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. Not actually affiliated with Spirit Airlines, just simply a joke about whiskey. Plus, we give you comfier seats, more legroom, and we offer full beverage services on all of our flights, including select whiskeys from my private collection. We are happy for you to join us with non-stop service from Baltimore to Miami in the free state of Florida. Our flight time will be about 2 hours and 15 minutes with a cruising altitude of 34,000 feet. And looking at the weather right now, we're looking at a bit of sleet as we got some rain and a little bit of snow. But once we are above the clouds, it should be a fairly smooth flight down to the free state of Florida. Now, it is currently 37 degrees Fahrenheit or 3 degrees Celsius, although the temperature does appear to be dropping here in Baltimore. But in the lovely city of Miami, in the free state of Florida, it is a very pleasant 24 degrees Celsius or 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Though the humidity is high, the precipitation rate is fairly low, so hopefully it'll be a fairly smooth flight in. Now, let's get the formalities taken care of. We're going to go here into the cockpit. We're going to at least get things going here. Now, I've already started up the battery. I already accessed the external power. So we're going to go down our checklist, get these engines going. So the next thing on our list is, of course, to get the engine generators going. Why is it not popping up here? Should be. Well, that is very odd. Should be these guys here. That was the APU. Ah, engine. Over here. It's probably highlighting. It's just very low. I just couldn't see. Because I'm blind. Not really, but my eyesight's very, very poor. Probably shouldn't be flying this plane anyways. Alrighty. Now let's do the engine bleeds here. Alrighty, APU master switch is next. Which is right. Oh shoot, where is it? That's what you want to hear from your pilot. Originally going up here because usually you just go down on aircraft, but apparently not here. And we've got the APU starters here. Take those guys, take that guy, and we'll wait for the APU to come on. Here the APU starting up, that's the little turbine back here. these are not from the skies here. Looking like it will be a bit of a rough takeoff with the rain, but it will be okay. Alrighty, APU bleed. I do believe we are ready to put that on. There we are. External power, we can in fact. Standby power. Should all be good. And we'll get the fuel pumps on. There we are. And of course beacon to signal to the folks down below that we are ready for pushback. Alrighty. That should be good. It's gone now. Alrighty. Now, we will be pushing back shortly. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full and upright position and that your seat belt is securely fastened. And we ask you to sit back, relax, and enjoy, and thank you for flying Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. Flight attendants, please prepare for gate departure.
Ground Whiskyfile 1765, could you please disconnect the jetway from the aircraft?
Alrighty, the jetway is disconnected. And flight attendant's doors on automatic cross-check and report. Thank you. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to, sure, this is in fact a no smoking flight, as are all flights these days. Why is that still highlighted? And ask you to fasten your seatbelts. And let's go through a little safety demonstration.
We're flying in a Boeing 737-8 MAX.
Now please take a moment and pay attention as we go through the safety information for this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the metal fittings one into the other and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft, 2 forward, 2 over the wing, and 2 aft. Please take a few moments to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exits. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. If you are seated next to an emergency exit, please carefully read the special instructions card located by your seat. If you do not wish to perform the functions described in the event of an emergency, please ask a flight attendant to reseat you. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. In the event of a water landing, a life vest is located in the pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head. Pass the straps around your waist and adjust it at the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord, only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpiece. Your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the strap, and hug the cushion to your chest. And please note, the doors are not flotation devices. Oxygen and air pressure are always being monitored in the event of a decompression. An oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, place it firmly over your mouth and nose, secure the elastic band behind your head, and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a crew member advises you to remove it. At this time, your portable electronic devices must be set to airplane mode until an announcement is made upon arrival. If you noticed your video stream has stopped, that's because you fell for that and I will never get tired of that joke. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight, even though some of you think you look cool doing it. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find this and all other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. If you do not have a seat pocket in front of you, you're probably not actually on a plane, which we don't find all that surprising. We strongly suggest you read this card before takeoff, and good luck if you don't have one. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members or in the chat next to the video. So sit back, relax, and when we're safely at cruising altitude, pour yourself a glass and enjoy your flight. Sorry, jumped the gun there on the transition, but sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight on Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. As you can see, I am a consummate professional. I will always do everything exactly as intended. I just wanted to try and get in the air, because technically I've already done this before, because, yeah, I was quote-unquote streaming when I realized I was not streaming. So I'm going to actually flip on the icing stuff here, and we are going to get these engines going here. So flip that ignition. Now I've already checked that they're at 0, so flip on master 1 here. Actually, it's technically for engine 2. And that fellow there is violating any and all safety protocol. It's okay. We'll just get sucked into an engine and die. Not my fault. So what we're doing here is we're going to monitor the information here. What this will do is it will stabilize. Look at all of its readings here. Oil temperature is down here. We've got oil quantity. That's just amount of oil in the system here. You know, pretty much this operates just like your car's engine. You know, you put gas in, or petrol. Granted, it's jet fuel here, but you know. But there we go. It is now stabilizing. Our N2 readings and N1 readings seem to be leveling off. Engine temperature seems to be at a nice 381. That's actually pretty good. Alrighty. Now let's start engine 1. There we go. It's going to be starting up here. Oh, hello, new viewers. I've got a nice little audience going. Hello, friends. How are you all doing? Happy for you to join the flight. Hope you enjoyed most of the safety video. You know, I killed my own branding. Oh well. Let's flip on the lights here. I don't need dome light. Flip on our taxi lights. And let's begin our pushback. So you can see engine 1 is stabilizing right around to the levels of engine 2. It does heat up first, then it just starts to cool down once all the coolant and stuff like that starts going through the engine. Now, while we're sitting here, we're going to request our
Ground
IFR.
Whiskyfile 1765 ready to copy IFR clearance to Miami.
Whiskyfile 1765 is cleared to Miami Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 28 climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure frequency is 126.75 squawk 4726.
Whiskyfile 1765 cleared to Miami Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 28 climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure on 126.75 squawk 4726.
Whiskyfile 1765 readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.9er when ready to taxi. Good day.
checklist is done.
Ground Whiskyfile 1765 ready to taxi IFR.
Whiskyfile 1765 taxi to and hold short of runway 28 using taxiway Tango uniform cross runway 22 uniform 1 cross runway 28 Victor. Contact tower on 119 or decimal 41 ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 28 using taxiway Tango uniform cross runway 22 uniform 1 cross runway 28 Victor Whiskyfile 1765.
Alrighty. Now let's do a little
Ground
pushback
Whiskyfile
here.
1765 requesting pushback.
Whiskyfile 1765 pushback request accepted.
There comes a little tug. It's going to go right under here, push us back. Yeah, it does look to be a bit dodgy weather out there. Mostly rain, a little bit of snow. You can, I don't know if it's coming over on the stream, but little specks of snow are coming down. It is the middle of winter for Baltimore.
Ground Whiskyfile 1765 requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the left.
Whiskyfile 1765, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
What's nice is there is a little bit of snow on the ground. You can kind of see that in the map over there by the runway. It's a nice touch. I didn't know that they changed those things, so that is pretty darn cool.
Whiskyfile 1765, hold position, caution, other traffic. Whiskyfile 1765, continue taxi.
Ground Whiskyfile 1765 requesting the end of pushback.
Whiskyfile 1765, request to end pushback received.
I think a car should stop for a plane, but apparently not in Baltimore. They've always been a little bit of a rowdy bunch. Alrighty. So let's begin our taxi. If you're wondering, that is how you steer a plane. You've got your rudder control, but it's really that little tiller there that is actually turning the wheel at the front, and it is only the wheel at the front that is turning this, which I think is kind of cool. If you're wondering what I'm clicking off screen, I've got my radio and everything off on the side so that it doesn't clutter up the my view here. I should probably adjust this. Put 40. And I'm going to switch the side of this. This guy. We're going to get our weather data here. That up. These things. As you can see, there's a decent storm system rolling through here. Surprisingly, very minimal wind, which is nice, so that should make our takeoff a little bit easier. A little bit of braking. that just loaded in all of that data. I don't need all of that. I just need our routing, which, by the way, we're on flight directory. I probably should have checked left and right as we were crossing the runway. I just did not realize that. That's okay. I'll just say that I did that. Like I said, I'm a consummate professional. Oh, we got a 7. Looks like a 737 over there. What do we got there? What are you? Yeah, you're a 737. Hi, 737 friend. One of the popular aircraft in, certainly in the U.S. It's a very nice plane. It does fly very well. We can actually tune down our speed knock here. Get to 180 for takeoff. Auto throttle is on. So you can see all the ice textures and stuff like that. They've got the runway relatively clear, just the taxiways are not. Check down this runway. It's a cloud formation there. Alrighty, and we are coming up to the runway now. We'll just Parker here. Ah, my dumb ways. What's the brakes on this? Should be okay. Oh, where are the brakes? Brakes in. Set this to RTO. That's for basically aborting a takeoff. It'll just halt everything. It's pretty abrupt, but hey, it keeps you from running off the runway. And alright. Flight attendants, please take your seats for takeoff.
Baltimore Tower Whiskyfile 1765 ready for IFR departure runway 28.
Whiskyfile 1765 altimeter 30.14 always calm. Cleared for takeoff runway 28.
Oh.
Cleared for takeoff runway 28 Whiskyfile 1765.
Alrighty, and we're just going to position ourselves on the runway. We are centered. We are cleared for takeoff. Yes, it is raining, but hey, we got this. Oh shit! Did you guys see that? There was a truck on the road there. That was sketchy. Someone clearly did not get the memo that an aircraft was taking off. Good lord.
Whiskyfile 1765.
Oh, man. That was ridiculous.
Potomac departure Whiskyfile 1765 is at 3,500 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1765 Potomac departure altimeter tree 0.14, continue to once as planned. Whiskyfile 1765 contact Washington Center on 132.55. Good day.
132.55 for Whiskyfile 1765. Washington Center Whiskyfile 1765 is passing 7,200 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1765 Washington Center altimeter 30.14, continue to 1 as planned.
Just lovely. I love being just above the clouds.
Washington Center Lindbergh 4502 is at 13,900 feet, descending 9,000 feet. Whiskyfile 1765 contact Washington Center on 134.15. Good day. Lindbergh 4502 Washington Center altimeter 30.18, continue as planned.
134.15 for Whiskyfile 1765.
Granted, it would not be a WSA flight without something weird going on.
Washington Center Whiskyfile 1765 is passing 11,000 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1765 Washington Center altimeter 30.18, continue to TERPC as planned.
That's we're flying in the daytime. We don't need the.
Whiskyfile 1765 climb and maintain flight level 200.
Come on.
Climb and maintain flight level 200 Whiskyfile 1765.
Washington Center Delta Flight 29er is at flight level 360, descending 10,000 feet.
Delta 529er Washington Center, continue as planned.
There we go. Now it's going up. A day to fly, huh? All sorts of raininess. Now, once we're above the clouds here, of course, we'll open up to full beverage services. Presently, what I am drinking is actually hot tea because it is 10:13 in the morning where I live. A bit too early for whiskey, but some of you who might be in the UK, cheers to you boys. You may happily pour yourself something. I actually was enjoying the Oban 14 year a couple of nights ago when I was racing with some of my buddies from the pub. That was fantastic. It's a Highland Scotch that's just it's got a nice, smooth taste to it. One of the higher shelf whiskeys in my collection, but strongly recommend. Okay, why is this taking forever? There we go. That should clear that.
Southwest 5073, you are 47 miles west.
There we go. Yeah, that's what it was. I would help to full on.
Expect vectors ILS
That's
runway 28 approach.
As you can see, the weather here is pretty abysmal. You can see it's, let's get my yoke out of the way. You can see it's just all yellow. It's not quite thunderstorms, but just heavy rain. Well, we should be above this shortly. Let's push this back up to... We'll do an 80-mile range. That way I can actually kind of see it's actually really 40 miles, because I think I've explained that before, that this game is kind of a little broken. Oh, we're now getting above the storm system.
Singapore 5, to contact Washington
Lovely.
Center on 120.65. Good day.
Yeah, it looks to be clear skies up here. It's quite nice.
120.65, Singapore 52.
See, I like flying through stormy weather because, you know, it makes things kind of interesting. I mean, sure, you can see everything when it's all nice and clear and everything, but this is just, it's visually interesting, presented a little bit of a challenge. Although I'd really like it to be a little less challenging given that there was a truck on the runway. Who does that? What sort of numpty? I had clearance from ATC. Pay attention, dude. It's okay, there's actually no collision physics on cars, so that's fine. Alrighty.
Southwest 5073, contact Potomac approach on 133.85. Good day.
And we shall be leveling off shortly. I'm going to change my barometric pressure to the standard 2992.
Whiskyfile 1765, contact Washington Center on 120.65. Good day.
Going to 120.65 Whiskyfile 1765. Washington Center Whiskyfile 1765 is at flight level 210 descending flight level 200.
Whiskyfile 1765 Washington Center. Continued HIRCK is
So what it's doing is it's going along with the flight path, but waiting for clearance to go up there. So that's the reason why it was doing that. That's just kind
Washington
of
Center
sick.
Delta 529er is passing flight level 360, descending 10,000 feet.
Delta 529er Washington Center. Continue as planned.
Now, fun little fact about the 737. If you notice underneath, you can see those are the wheels.
Whiskyfile 1765. Please expedite your descent flight level 200.
Yes, it's fine. The reason they did that was, the whole design for the 737 back in I think it was released in like 1967 or 68. They were, Boeing was trying to
Washington Center Allegiant 1827 is at flight level 3
have a
descending 10,000 feet.
medium-sized jet, good for regionals.
Whiskyfile 1765 climb and maintain flight level 300. Allegiant 1827 Washington Center. Continue as planned.
Come on.
American 1107 you are 42 miles west.
Just want to acknowledge, please.
Descend and maintain 2,100 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 19er approach.
Come on. There we go.
Climb and maintain flight level 300 Whiskyfile 1765.
Descend and maintain 2,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 19er approach American 1107.
There we go. Now, they were designing this plane. Now, this is the 1960s. Jet flight was pretty much fairly new. It had been around for about 15, 20 years. But a lot of airports were fairly small, and they wanted to create a small to medium aircraft that could fit that.
6179er is passing 12,100 feet, descending 10,000 feet.
And to basically account for the low stance of the aircraft, mixed in with the wanting to have a decent amount of baggage, this was a simple and elegant solution. You don't need the doors, you just need a little bit of gaskets around the wheels. And aerodynamic hubs just underneath, and you're good.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet, Brickyard 4879er. 119er decimal 85 for American 1107.
Brickyard 4879er. Contact Potomac approach on 119er decimal 85. Good day. Generic Fife, Whiskey Sierra, you are 1 mile south. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 16 right approach.
Going to 119er decimal 85, Brickyard 4879er. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 16 right approach, generic 5 Whiskey Sierra.
My girlfriend has confirmed that it is in fact cold and rainy in the DC area.
Washington Center Delta 306 is passing 9,600 feet, climbing 10,000 feet.
Which, to me, I just find so cool. That it does accurate weather, I mean, accurate to a degree. I know the clouds are not exactly 100% accurate, but the weather data and stuff like that, it's to me it's just cool because I was flying in a flight simulator game that didn't support that. I don't know if it's just because my computer was terrible, or if it was truly because it was an older one. Although apparently there was some weather data and stuff like that in it. I just didn't have the internet support. Hey, that's what it was. But still, it was very old. The cloud pixels were the size of the aircraft, if not bigger. I love modern gaming. It is so much nicer. Although, speaking of old games and stuff like that, I was watching a video about graphics and using CRT TVs. And the reason why, in your brain, you think older games look better than, or like, looked good back in the day rather than compared to what they do now is because, well, you're playing on a CRT TV. If you look at the pixels of them, the quote-unquote pixels of a CRT TV, they've got sort of a fade around them, and graphic artists and stuff like that, whenever they were making this either the models or the graphics for the games, they would account for that little bit of fade, so you'd actually quote-unquote see a lot more detail than you actually are. But now we've shifted to, LCD displays and high definition. The full pixel is lit up, so you have this continuous picture, and it's a better picture quality. But that's the reason why a lot of pixelated games and stuff like that look kind of bad nowadays. I thought that was kind of fascinating. I mean, granted, it's so much easier to pick up a flat panel monitor or TV than it is a CRT TV, and oh my god, those things are heavy.
Whiskyfile 1765 climb and maintain flight level 340.
Yes, ma'am.
29er contact Washington Center on 133.2. Good day. Generic 13 Romeo contact Washington Center on 121.675. Good day.
Going to 133.2 Delta 529er.
Generic 5 Whiskey Sierra contact Potomac approach on 128.525. Good day.
Yeah, this is a crowded airway.
Climb and maintain flight level 340 Whiskyfile 1765.
128.525 generic 5 Whiskey Sierra. Going to 121.675 generic 13 Romeo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I have turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, and you may now move about the cabin. However, we always recommend to keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated. In a few moments, the flight attendants will be passing around the cabin to offer you hot or cold drinks, as well as some nice lunch or a nice snack. As to be expected, alcoholic drinks are available with our compliments. As always, we have an assortment of whiskey, and well, like I said earlier, I am currently enjoying tea, but I strongly suggest the Oban 14. It is quite delightful. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight, and thank you for choosing Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines.
133.2 for Allegiant 1827.
I'm just scrolling through and checking out some Discord. How is everyone doing? I see we've actually got a pretty consistent audience. I'm quite pleased. It's more than I've gotten in the past.
Air Shuttle 6179er, contact Washington Center on 133.2.
Also, if you're wondering why I'm doing this today instead of yesterday, well, some things came up, and also I was doing the qualifying for the Hugh Hat-Trick touring, I guess that's what TCR is, touring car racing series, which is fun. It's a bunch of front-wheel drive cars in Gran Turismo for Hugh Hat-Trick's YouTube channel. And we basically race front-wheel drive cars in Gran Turismo Sport. No fuel, no tire wear, so the FF cars are actually pretty good.
Whiskyfile 17
1.675 Whiskyfile 1765.
And I am currently second place in the standings. Probably going to get third, given Scotty is really quick.
Washington Center Whiskyfile 1765 is passing flight level 340, climbing flight level 340.
That race will be Saturday.
1765 Washington Center, continue to TYPNZ as planned.
That will be Saturday at about 1 o'clock my time, that's Pacific Standard. 4 o'clock Eastern Standard, and what was it, 9 o'clock, I think, for the Brits? Ooh, we got a race. There's a plane over there. Stupid pilot humor. Come on. Let's see, what are you?
Whiskyfile 1765, contact Washington Center on 135.4. Good day.
Can't actually see it on my map.
135.4 for Whiskyfile
Let's see if we
1765.
can see it.
Washington Center Air Shuttle 6179er is at flight level 260, descending 10,000 feet. Air Shuttle 6179er, Washington Center, continue as planned.
Washington Center Whiskyfile 1765 flight level 340.
No, I can't actually
Whiskyfile
see it.
1765 Washington Center, continue to score as planned.
Oh well. If we get close enough, we'll see what that is.
62, you are 5 miles west.
Get another plane on this airway as well.
2,800 feet, expect ILS
Let's see,
runway
sure.
16 approach.
Ah, you're going the same way, so we're not gonna make any collisions or anything like that. Should be perfectly fine. Now I'm going to replenish my tea because I'm thirsty. So what we're going to do is I'm going
Descend
to...
and maintain 2,800 feet, expect ILS runway 16 approach via
Okay.
Foxtrot Alpha Kilo transition, cleared to Foxtrot Alpha Kilo
Yeah, that's
Lindbergh
what I want.
4562.
Assistant. And we're going to do auto BTC communication here, just so that way I don't have to do that. But what we're going to do, add here a little bit of text. Okie dokie, and
Washington Center, Allegiant 1827 is at flight level 375, descending 10,000 feet.
also got to do Euro style because that is the font that I've been using for this channel.
Continue as planned.
Okie dokies. That's where the color is. It's the color, it's gonna be black. Actually, no, it's gonna be white because I'm gonna have a background to it.
Washington Center, generic November 5, 829er Delta is passing 15,700 feet, descending 10,000 feet. Generic November 5, 829er Delta, Washington Center, altimeter 30.21, continue as planned.
I'll shrink that, bring that here. Yeah, you're getting a little behind the scenes because I can do text. That's pretty cool. Back to get some tea, folks. I will be right back. Well, I'm back. I've put the kettle on, and yes, I do actually have a kettle. That is the only proper way to heat up tea, because my mom, she's a microwaver. That is a travesty against tea. So what I'll do is once that starts whistling, and I will go over there and grab my tea, and then I will and pop back over. But I figure I will monitor things as we're going. Given that we are at our cruising altitude at 34,000 feet. I don't really need to be all that much in control, which is nice. So we got a ways to fly. And as you can see here, we're basically going to be we're pretty much flying over south end of Maryland into a little bit of Pennsylvania. I'll pull up Google Maps as I typically do, just to kind of see locations of where we are. Actually, no, we're flying over Virginia. That's where that is. I forgot Pennsylvania is a little bit more to the north.
Contact Washington Center on 118.75. Good day.
And if we ever get through the cloud cover, we can actually kind of see where we are, but in the meantime...
118.75 Lindbergh 4562.
Yeah, FVX. Nice, so the caps look on Farmville Regional Airport. Very interesting. There's apparently a small airport just off of the left side of the aircraft. Somewhere down there, but I can't see it. It's a small regional.
Washington Center, SkyWest Tree 131 is at 13,800 feet, descending 2,800 feet. SkyWest Tree 131, Washington Center, altimeter 30.18, continue to Foxtrot, Alpha Kilo as planned. Washington Center, Southwest, 896 is at flight level 245, descending 10,000 feet. Southwest 896, Washington Center, continue as planned.
This is nice and relaxing. I enjoy this. I've missed flying. It's been a few weeks since we started this, and I have affectionately called this tour Around the World in 80 Drinks. You know, at least to kind of tease the whiskey theme to it. If you noticed, we started in Ontario, California, then flew to Seattle. From Seattle, then we went to Chicago. From Chicago, we then went to New York at JFK, and then from New York, we went down to BWI in Maryland, and we are now flying to the free state of Florida to Miami. Next week in Miami, we will be actually flying a different aircraft than the 737 or the 787 as you've seen me fly before. I recently got the Boeing 777 cargo aircraft, and we will be flying Freedom to the UK, as we will be flying to Heathrow. It'll be our first transatlantic flight. It'll be our first international flight. Should be quite a lot of fun. Oop, that is my kettle going, so I will be right back.
Washington Center, Brickyard 3536 is passing flight level 205, descending 10,000 feet. Brickyard 3536, Washington Center, continue as planned.
Generic 13 Romeo.
Allegiance 1827, contact Washington Center on 124.05. Good day.
Washington Center, ExitJet 522 is passing flight level 255, descending 10,000 feet.
Exit jet 522 Washington Center. Continue as planned.
Ah, delightful. Love me some tea.
124.05 for Allegiant 1827.
Oops. Want that back over there, please. Thank you. We'll take back control of our radio communications. Now I am drinking just a standard black tea, in case you are wondering. And it is quite nice, quite delightful. Just a standard black tea. It is the standard cheap tea that I drink. I do not add milk, do not add sugar. I just do, as you would say, just roughing it. But that's how I like it.
American 705 contact Washington Center on 127.9025. Good day.
American 705.
Southwest 89er, 6 contact Washington Center on 127.9025. Good day. Whiskyfile 1765 contact Washington Center on 124.05. Good day.
124.05 Whiskyfile 1765.
127.9.
Washington Center Whiskyfile 1765 flight level 340.
Whiskyfile 1765 Washington Center, continue Durson as planned.
Now also, cause it's fun, if you want to know what I'm drinking out of, it's this. Brings me great joy. If you couldn't tell from my perspective on Florida, that's just sort of how I roll, so it's just fun to drink out of. It's also fully insulated. It will keep your tea hot. It will keep your cold drinks cold. It is perfect for a highball. I adore this thing. Now, if I lost any viewers for that one, I did. Oh well. Worth it. It's little things like that that amuse me. It really does. I'm a simple man to amuse. You can ask any of my friends. We are coming up to RR Sin, going over to AVEGE. I think it's called Veg or Veg or something like that. But we are going to our next checkpoint. Got offended by what I drink out of. You can take it up with the Whiskyfile complaint department. It is a box attached to a shredder. Or it will go into the Jameson Fund. Y'all know my my perspective on Jameson. It's probably pretty notorious at this point. I wonder if I can find. I wonder if I can put that on there. Let's see. Let's find out. Let's see. Stock footage. Yeah, get all behind the scenes on how I actually put together my videos. Where are you?
118.75 Delta 420.
Where did I put it? See, I use a Premiere file that's just riddled with things. Oh, funny footage. That's where it is. Goop.
Washington Center exit jet 522 is passing flight level 275, descending on 0,000 feet.
What will do? Yeah, that's
Executive 522 Washington Center, continue
this is how I feel about Jameson. It's not good. You pour that into a glass, you get kind of sad and... Oh no. Oh, it's horrible. Mm-mm. Yeah. Interesting, I'm learning more and more things about OBS. It's a pretty good program. Very good for streaming. Highly recommended. I was able to do that in real time.
Washington Center, American 705 is at flight level 375, descending 10,000 feet. American 705, Washington Center, continue as planned. 127.9 or 25 for ExitJet 522.
Tea is delicious.
Washington Center Frontier Flight 823 Heavy is at flight level 375 descending 10,000 feet.
Speaking of tea, there was a
823 Heavy, Washington Center, continue as planned.
really funny moment. One of the podcasters that I listened to, and he had gotten himself a really top quality bourbon. I can't remember what the bourbon was, but it was easily $100 bottle or something like that. And he pours himself a little bit, tastes it, offers some to his wife, which his wife, you know, she likes whiskey as well. And she takes the shot, pours it into a cup of hot tea. And she just responds, "I just wanted a hot toddy." Now, to any fellow whiskey filer out there, you know that that is blasphemy. You do not do that to a fine bourbon or a fine scotch or any fine whiskey out there. That is for cheap crap. You do not do that to fine bourbons. Bourbons are for sipping, good bourbons. And he actually ended up shaming her on his Twitter, and I thought that was the funniest thing. Unfortunately for me, my girlfriend, she does not drink, so she would never do such a thing. But she fortunately knows better.
Cliff Streak 5554, contact Washington Center on 118.75. Good day.
Speaking of that, I also got her into tea. She was not a tea drinker before.
Washington Center, exit jet 522 is passing flight level 275, descending on 0,000 feet. Executive 522, Washington Center, continue as planned.
You know, I wonder what other, oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to just flash my downloads screen.
There's
nothing sketchy in there. Mostly just, mostly just downloaded liveries and other various funny photos. But the reason why I'm doing this differently is because OBS thought it was a great idea to just not show my game footage, so now I have to do it as a full-on display capture. It still works, it's just, now if I do anything off screen, sometimes you might do that. I do apologize. So I was giving the praises to OBS earlier. I find that really funny. Yeah, which means I cannot necessarily do that. But what I can do... You know what we will do is probably in the future for long haul flights, we might do some entertainment.
11 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 370, Airbus A20N. Report them in sight.
I mean, you could always do shameless plugs to other things.
For heavy traffic is 9 o'clock, 2 miles at flight level 380, generic.
I already do that for Hugh Hattrick. I'll do that for EDTM, which will be back in swing of things 2 weeks from now. That is...
Allegiant 1827 have the traffic.
That is Jacobub's EDTM, which is the Deutsch Touring.
Frontier Flight
I don't know exactly what it is, but basically there's GT cars. It's good fun. I'm not great at it. For me, GT cars, I just can't get the feel for them. GT4 cars I get, but GT3 cars, it's hit and miss with me. But that one's just a lot of fun. Oh hey, we got our viewers back after the tumbler incident. Hello, new viewers, welcome. We are currently flying to the free state of Florida to Miami International because so originally I was actually going to fly to Orlando. That was the original plan. But then I flew into Miami, just to kind of see what it looked like and all that. It's a beautiful approach, and we're going to be flying over the city, so that should be just delightful.
Delta 1325 traffic is 1 o'clock, 2 miles at flight level 380 generic. Report them in sight.
This game is pretty.
Allegiance 1827 traffic in sight.
Delta 1325 traffic in sight.
Oh, there's a plane down there. Where are you? Can we? No, I just see a speck. There is real world flight data. I'll actually bring the map on screen here. This is what I see. So we got that plane over here flying over KTDF, which KTDF is, let's see here, KTDF airport. I don't need images, that's Raleigh. Oh, we're over North Carolina. Hey Liz, check it out, it's Raleigh. Woo! She doesn't watch my streams. It's okay, I'm only sort of hurt by it. Fake laugh hiding real pain. Good stuff. Alright, we do have a plane below us or above us. Where's that plane going? You might see that one. Actually, I should bring up the flight.
Generic 13 Romeo contact Atlanta Center on 128.8. Good day.
Let's see here. Live flight radar. Because I forgot I could do this mid-flight here too.
128.8 generic 13 Romeo.
We are over Raleigh right now.
Going to 128.8 Allegiance 1827.
I don't believe we're over Jordan Lake. Well, actually, we are over Jordan Lake. That plane is actually Air France flight number 682, flying from Paris to Atlanta. Man, that is a long flight. It's an Airbus A350, which is basically their version of the 787, 777, sort of a comparable plane with that. Pretty good long hauler, twin engine. So that's pretty cool. Now, as you can see actually on our map here, now we have a range of, it's actually really 320 miles from here, so we are about 300 miles away from our destination in Miami, which will be probably about another hour or so flight. It'll be about 50 minutes left in cruising. We will start our descent, and then we will eventually land in Miami. Now, what's fortunate about Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines, given that we offer constant drinks and food and other assortment, courtesy of our flight attendants, you don't have to wear a mask, you don't have to be uncomfortable at all. Just please, we ask you, don't take off your shoes, because that's what animals do on the flight. Now, you can take off your shoes. Keep them down.
135 decimal to Whiskyfile 1765.
You take off your socks and you're getting a one-way trip down 34,000 feet. We do not allow that. As I'm speaking though, I am actually barefoot because I'm the captain. I get to do whatever I want. but I've seen some animals on flights, man. Like one, I mean, you've all seen the image of that girl who put her feet basically right up against that guy's elbow. Ugh. I want to hurt people like that. And that's the real reason why flights get aggressive, is because really people.
Generic 2 Charlie Sierra, you are 40 miles west. Descend
I don't
and
want to
maintain
touch that.
10,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 23 right approach via butts transition. Cleared to butts.
Just wanted to upgrade or update the weather data there, just to kind of see what's going on.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
Oh yeah, we should
Not above
turn
21.
to that, shouldn't we?
Washington Center Whiskyfile
My bad.
1765 flight level
Yeah, I'm a
340.
professional, I swear.
Whiskyfile 1765 Washington Center. Continue as planned.
Now, if you're wondering what my setup is, I am seated at my dining table. Ooh, I should make myself a sandwich. I might do that in a little bit. But basically my setup is I'm sitting at my dining table. I've got my monitor in front of me. I got a monitor to the right of me. And I'm playing this on an Xbox One controller. Actually, it is the Cyberpunk edition of the Xbox One controller. It just looks cool. I liked the game. I know it was not perfect. I fortunately was playing it on PC. I have a pretty decent graphics card. I'm actually running an RTX 2080 Super
You are 46 miles southwest.
with an
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210.
with an
Expect
i10
ILS runway 23 right approach via Marby
or with a
transition. Cleared to
i10
Marby.
10900K, which is a beast of a processor. And
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 23 right approach via
And
Marby
it was able to handle
transition
1080p
1651.
gaming on that just
E128
fine.
Contact Raleigh approach on 124.905. Good day.
But I will say the game was a little lackluster. It felt like only half a story. But I enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed the world. I have yet to play it since I beat it, which is probably the same that most people could say about the game.
1 mile southwest. Descend
Ooh,
and
an
maintain
aircraft flying towards
10,000
us.
feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots.
Yes.
Expect ILS runway 23 left approach via Dew 1 transition. Cleared to Dew 1.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 23 left approach via Dewan transition. Clear to Dewan American 18907.
JIA 5165. Let's see what you are. JIA 5165. I had never heard of this airline. But it's flying from Charlotte to Washington. PSA Airlines. Never heard of PSA. Oh, Pacific Southwest Airlines. Interesting. Alright. Cool. No, I also just find it pretty neat that they actually track fairly real-world data. They sometimes got it a little on delay, like you got American Airlines 1897 flying beneath us there. Let's see where they're going. What's that? Is that what it was? Okay. It's gone. It's low. We'll just say that it was. Oops. Damn it. I pressed an X.
Delta 165, one contact Raleigh approach on 128.3.
It was not.
Good day.
Ah, that's what it was. No, that wasn't. I don't know which flight that was, but it was American Airlines.
Delta 1651.
This was not. Oh, that's what it was. 1855. It was probably Charlotte to Washington as well. Or actually no, because it's not flying. I have no idea. I have short-term memory loss sometimes on those things. Interesting. We're picking up some approach information. We should not be at this altitude. Down over here. Oh, got the autopilot engaged. That's all. And it should be fine. That's not an issue. We're flying over KSOP, which
American 189er, contact Raleigh approach on 127.6.
KSOP is Moore County Airport. Still in North Carolina. It's east of Charlotte, south of Durham.
675 for American 189er 7.
So we're pretty much at about the halfway point in this flight, which at 82 minutes in the air, that is roughly about right. We were looking at 215, but we've got quite a bit of a headwind. So that is probably the reason why. We are just cruising along. Let's see.
Generic 4 Lima Echo, you are tree 6 miles south. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 21 approach.
Now, if you're wondering how I plan all of my flights and everything,
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 21 approach. Generic 4 Lima Echo.
bring this over here. I'm gonna actually see if this will actually work. Ah, it does. Look at that. So this is simbrief.com.
Generic
What it's done is
Atlanta Center on 133.15.
essentially tracked all of my flight data. We'll actually plan this out along real world information, which is pretty neat. So it's able to basically plot out everything, give you all the information, give you the weights, give you the fuel load that you need, tell you which runways you should be landing on. It's pretty in-depth. And what's really neat is it is 100% free. There is no cost to it. No, which is pretty awesome. It'll give you also all the weather data currently at that airport.
Flight level 365, descending 10,000 feet. United 2262 Washington Center, continue as planned.
Pretty awesome. I really like using the site. I use it for all of my planning, and it will do it anywhere around the world. Now, there is something that with Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's not going to be 100% accurate to European flight rules, but to American flight rules, it's a bit better, and that's just because Microsoft is based in America. They're basing it off of FAA rules. It's easier just to have one set of rules than to have multiples, so breaks a little bit of the immersion, but hey, what are you going to do? Now we are getting below the storm system that was over Virginia and DC area. Bit of cloud cover here and there.
JetBlue 1952, Washington Center, continue as planned.
JetBlue 1952, let's see where you're going. JetBlue 1952, because he was just pinging on the radio there. He's going from Orlando to Boston, so that's where he's going. Interesting. Now, if you're wondering the significance of 1965, well, let's see here.
Whiskyfile 1765, contact Jacksonville Center on 133.45. Good day.
Actually, it's a 1765. That's what mine was. Oh, come on now, let me acknowledge.
133.45 for Whiskyfile 1765. Jacksonville Center, Whiskyfile 1765, flight level 340.
Whiskyfile 1765, Jacksonville Center, continue as planned.
That was actually the year for the Stamp Act, which kind of kicked off the American Revolution. Fast forward 11 years later, we declare our independence. And we will, of course, be flying to the next one, to the Whiskyfile Cargo, which is actually Whiskyfile Logistics. That's the official name of it. We'll be flying in a beautiful bird, the 777 or the Boeing 777. Come on, spit it out. But it will be a lovely, lovely aircraft. I've already put together the livery for it.
Contact Washington Center on 135.2. Good day.
I am very, very excited for it. I'll just
135.2
drag this over here. Oop. That's what it looks like. It's going to be a lovely, lovely plane to fly. I've been actually testing it a little bit. It's a little wonky on certain areas, you'll see, but that is the cargo aircraft that we'll be flying next week. The livery is based loosely off of the FedEx 777 liveries. But yeah, it will be quite nice. Now again, to anyone in the GLR server, I do have the WSA flight radio up if you want to join the flight. We will be in that cruising altitude for another hour, so it will be quite nice to have another person on board. You can kind of ask your questions. Feel free to ask any questions you have. I am in no way a professional, but I can at least tell you a little bit about the aircraft, a little bit about how to fly, a little bit of how to set things up. It's good fun.
JetBlue 8902, contact Washington Center on 135.2. Good day. JetBlue 8902.
Now, eventually, I want to try and do public ones where we're actually dealing with air traffic control, but for the meantime, we are not flying with people. These are, any flights that you see are based off of real-world data. Like this one is flying past us. What are you, sir? Oh, it's a private aircraft. And 719 AV.
Whiskyfile 176, flight traffic is 10 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 350 generic. Report them in sight. Generic 9 Alpha Victor traffic is 9 o'clock, 3 miles at flight level 345.
I saw them. They were no danger.
Report them in sight.
Whiskyfile 1765, have the generic in sight.
Now, the generic flight there was flying from West Palm Beach to Teterboro in New Jersey. And by the looks of it here, what's the aircraft? Apparently the owner is the Bank of Utah trustee. It is a Canada Air Regional Jet CRJ 200. So a, what is that, Bombardier CRJs? Small little twin engine, usually has them mounted towards the back. And the CRJs, they're a good group of planes. I have yet to figure out how to fly them. They are a pain to try and set up. But, you know, eventually I'll try and learn to fly it. It's got a lot of things going on with it. It's one of the payware aircraft. We got another private here. Let's see where you are. And 359 CB. Oh, that's cool. So it is flying from Marathon, Florida to Gaithersburg, Maryland. Never heard of Gaithersburg. And they're flying a Beechcraft Super King Air 350 twin prop. Those are fun planes to fly. Basically a small prop passenger plane. Turboprop, I believe, and they're pretty awesome. Now, if you're wondering, okay, so turboprops, you know, people often look at turboprops and think of them like, oh, it's a prop plane, you're just going to fall out of the sky and your plane's not even going to make the news. I make that joke. But I make that joke because it's a funny joke, not because I actually think it's going to happen. Turboprops are actually basically just jet engines without the cowlings.
Generic 1 Golf Juliet, contact Jacksonville Center on 133.4.
The difference is it's not able to get as high a compression. They're not as high a speed, but they can get to pretty high altitudes. Like that one, its altitude is 27,000 feet.
133.4 for generic 1 Golf Juliet.
But essentially where a jet engine gets most of its thrust is in those first fans, which are basically just propellers. It's pretty much the same setup. The only difference is this plane is able to get to a higher speed than that, but same reliability, same function. Now you have your piston engines. Those are the prop planes like the Cessna 172, 152, the Cirrus SR-22 that I flew last month or the month before. That's my go-to sort of just a little fun prop plane just to fly around in. Yeah, their turboprops are pretty neat. Flying over a very small runway somewhere down here. It's just denoted as 51J. I don't even know if I can see it. It is supposed to be right underneath me. Oh, there it is. Right there. Little itty bitty runway. Now, the thing is with the United States, because, you know, we were one of the... We basically just sort of pioneered our own little system of airports. We have regional and local airports everywhere.
Whiskyfile 1765, contact Jacksonville Center on 127.9 Good day.
And because America has so much open land,
Going to 127.9 Whiskyfile 1765.
because America has so much open land, it was just easy to just sort of pockmark it everywhere. Europe is a bit different. Yes, they do have some, but they,
Jacksonville Center Whiskyfile 1765 flight level 340.
the way that their hubs are set up,
Whiskyfile 1765, Jacksonville Center, continue to Avage as planned.
the way that their hubs are set up is it's more centralized. And we will get into a discussion about that, you know, when I actually figure out how to do liveries for the 747, because that's going to be a fun one. 747, okay, so livery making in Microsoft Flight Simulator is kind of interesting. It depends on which plane you're flying. So for this plane, 737, the 777, the 787, the Cirrus 22, basically those are the 4 planes that I've flown so far.
Continue as planned.
The way that you make liveries for them is you get a UV map, which is basically if you like took the plane and just flattened it and then painted over it, that's how you do those things. But the 747 is set up where the decals are actually embedded to the model itself, which is kind of ridiculous. Which means I have to learn Blender, which I'm sort of learning Blender. Some of you have seen some of the little silly animations that I've made for Blender. I mean, I can pull one up right now just because I can. I wonder what was. Yes, it will. We'll just pop this up right here in this corner. So I'm gonna mute that just so it doesn't do anything. But yeah, I did like a little animation, a little robot, and playing this around with Blender, just trying things out, see what I can actually make work, which is pretty cool. That's all basically like an LCD screen that I made. Oh, and yep, he lights on fire because he counted down to 0. But yeah, it's like fun little things like that. I'm figuring out how to make Blender work for what I want. Full-on smoke simulations and stuff like that. I've actually got a really ambitious one planned, so if you want to subscribe to that channel, currently it's called Name Pending, but if you search Cubot, which is C-U-B-O-T-T, you'll find it on YouTube.
Contact Jacksonville Center on 133.45.
But yeah, little shameless plug to that channel. I really like animating, and we're trying with one of my buddies and I are working on animation together.
Going to 133.45 United 741.
He's helping out with some of the voicing and stuff like that, some of the concept stuff. We got a lot of cool things planned for 2022. But this channel, we're just flying and drinking whiskey. So yeah, if I don't post a video every week, it's because I'm posting a video there or something like that. So bear with me, I'm mainly doing this just as a hobby. We get maybe a couple views here and there. I've gotten a couple hundred views on some of the animation, that's about it. But I have a lot of fun with it. Ah, tea. Glorious tea. Surprise, the chat's not all that talkative. Just died posting
Whiskyfile
something.
1765, contact Jacksonville Center on 128.7.
How is everyone doing though? Y'all enjoying the flight? 'Cause I am.
128.7 Whiskyfile 1765.
It's been a nice smooth flight, but we'll see how we do with the landings. We are coming up to D. Danny, which will be basically the start of our descent, if I remember correctly. I'm going to check my brief here. Need to zoom out of the map here. I took a little bit of a different approach to that, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I took a little bit different approach to my report just because I wanted a little bit more of a scenic route. But, yeah, because we'll be flying out over the ocean a little bit, and that will be our top of descent, which means we will be starting our descent into Miami in about probably 30 minutes, 35 minutes, give or take. So we're flying over a veg, and D. Danny will be taking us out over the ocean. Now, one of the places we will be flying over is Charleston, South Carolina. Which is pretty much right up, basically up in this area here. So we might see a bit more. Let's see here if I can. There we go, Charleston.
Jacksonville Center, Brickyard 3649er is at flight level 305, descending 10,000 feet.
There's a lot of planes down there.
Brickyard 3649er, Jacksonville Center, continue as planned.
Nothing in our visual sight. Oh, well, we got KAY 1723. Let's see where you are. KAY 1723. You are Allegiant. You're flying from Providence, Rhode Island to Punta Gorda. I don't know what Punta Gorda is. Ah, it's in Florida.
Jacksonville Center, Jetblue 1329er is passing flight level 345, descending 10,000 feet.
Oh, it's on the opposite end. Basically just adjacent to Tampa, so we will actually be flying. It might be flying into its path a little bit. He looks to be going faster than me though. He is flying right into my flight path. That's going to be interesting. Okay, well at least we see him. We know what's going on. I'm going to put on the fasten seatbelt signs. We might experience a little bit of turbulence as we go over the jet wash there. But there's nothing I can do. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I put on the fasten seatbelt sign. We might be experiencing just a little bit of turbulence. So just bear with us for a moment. Okay. Well, I guess no turbulence. Well, it shows you the accuracy of their air model. That's interesting. Alrighty. Seatbelt sign can go back off. Oops, where is it? There it is. There we are. I just had no idea how accurate it would really be, and apparently not that accurate, at least not for other planes. That's okay. Oh, I should probably tune.
Washington Center, Whiskyfile 1765, flight level 340.
They were probably yelling at me.
Whiskyfile 1765 Washington Center, continue to advance as planned.
Can't yell at me if you didn't hear me. But we saw it, it was fine. Everything's fine. Ah, the lovely East Coast here. We're coming up to Charleston.
Southwest 90004, contact Jacksonville Center on 124.7. Good day.
I really like this plane. It's a good one to fly.
124.7 for Southwest Diner 004.
The 787, I will say, is an easier plane to fly than this, but this one I just really enjoy. It's autopilot, how it actually functions, really nice. Just going through some things, checking out my discords. I've got a lot of discords, my goodness. Scrolling through everything, it is a lot. I like Discord, don't get me wrong. It's just I'm also a hermit. I think I've communicated more on the internet in the last year than I have, I think, in my entire life, which is kind of crazy. Oh, I have been getting chat. I do apologize to everyone. Apparently on YouTube, it has not been updating at all. So, hello Cordell, hello Josh, hello Angels fan, Todd, my friend. So I've actually got it pulled up on my, basically I've got it on YouTube itself. So, hello everyone. I have not been ignoring you. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to scroll through and read this. Of course, Cordell's got his cider ready for takeoff.
Generic 0 Alpha, X3 UR3, 8 miles southwest.
Mikey freezing his toes off. Yeah, it's cold in Britain. We will be flying Freedom to the UK next week. That will also include foot warmers for you guys. So try and stay warm, drink some Guinness, drink some whiskey. I was not. It's YouTube being stupid, Todd. I apologize. I would not ignore you. Ooh, we got Barbara Raisin. I have never met you before, but hello, sir. If I have met you before and you're under a different name, please let me know. Yeah, feel free to come in for a chat, Mikey. I just saw your 3 knocks. WSA Flight Radio is open, so if you want to join in, feel free. Todd, I could always send you an invite if you want to talk. Happy to have you on GLR if you want to join us. Let's see, where is Todd? There's Todd. Doop. There you are. Let's see, what else? I will make a GLR plane eventually. I've just got to brand it, but it will of course be a Whiskyfile plane. Maybe I'll do that for the maybe I'll do that for the Queen of the Skies when I make it. So for the 747, that will be the GLR plane. Because you got to go big. Jameson is to Irish whiskey what Jack Daniels is to American whiskey. You know, that is a proper... You are a hot toddy, Todd. Just finally getting up to that message. That is brilliant. But yeah, Jameson is like Jack. It's a standard, all-fair whiskey, good for mixing with things, I guess. But again, I don't drink Jack either. Oh, okay, no, that's not entirely true. I do like a Jack and Coke. So maybe I'll like a Jameson and Coke. Maybe. Might give it a chance. Speaking of mixing things, I did pick up more Dr. Pepper cream soda, and I will be mixing that into things. That is delicious. I've got it chilling in my fridge. So yeah, currently we are flying over the ocean. Yeah, it's not great. It's okay in mixing things. If you need cheap fix, go for it. But I've been using, actually one of my cheaper whiskeys is my Belle Meade bourbon whiskey. It's actually really good in mixing things. I don't like it necessarily straight, but mixed in with things is fantastic. I think that's really the only whiskey that I've dedicated to mixing things, 'cause all my other stuff is, it's not for mixing. Because I got rid of my Toki, as you saw in my review last month, I guess. We will be getting back more into reviews and stuff too. I've got a couple of videos. I've got one called Whiskey Webs that I have recorded, I just haven't had the chance to edit yet. That one's going to be a fascinating one. It's more science driven, so I actually might get my girlfriend to watch that. Now, let's see, who else do we have on here? Oh, we had a Russian person. I don't know how to pronounce that because I don't understand Skrillex. I don't understand any of the pronunciation for it. It just breaks my brain. I understand Latin-based languages. They pronounce things. I understand Germanic languages because they pronounce things exactly as they should be. Well, I understand how to pronounce them. I don't necessarily understand them. My German is rusty. I used to know just basically all foods, but if you know me, you're not surprised by that at all. Because I lived in Germany for about 6 months in the city of Dessau, which if you're an architecture nerd, you know that city. If you're not an architecture nerd, you're like, where the heck is that? And it's about an hour, or actually an hour and a half by train from Berlin. And the reason why architecture nerds know that is because of the Bauhaus, which is basically the birthplace of modern architecture. Say what you will about it. There's some good things, there's some bad things about it. I like modern architecture, but I do not like the replacement of modern architecture over other styles. Like classical architecture is a thing of beauty. Same thing with neoclassical, neo-Gothic, old Gothic architecture. It's gorgeous. Yeah, this is the architecture nerd portion of it, of the stream. But modern architecture has its place. It's a very utilitarian, very simplistic thing, and you can make beautiful things out of simplicity. They used concrete in very standard ways, well, standard to us today. And it all started in 1919 in Germany, moved to the city of Dessau in, I believe, 1923 or 24. Stayed there until about the 30s, when it then moved back to Berlin, and then got forced out of the country because Hitler liked neoclassicism. Thought modernism was an affront to his vision of architecture. And they fled the country and moved to both New York and Chicago. So people like Vies Mandero, who else? There's a bunch of famous old modernist architects. But Mies moved to Chicago, started up the Illinois Institute of Technology's architecture department. His building it's a really lovely looking architecture building. Much prettier than mine. Mine was, actually, because I can do this and I can do this in real time, why not? Cal Poly's architecture building. Okay. Yeah. Oof. That is a rough sight. I mean, personally, I love this building. Absolutely adore it, and it's only because of the memories. IT architecture, because we're going to do a nice little comparison. So, that's my architecture building. Architecture and Environmental Design, Building 5 in Cal Poly. Now, this is what is called brutalist architecture. Now, the practical aspects of it, basically, all the things are labeled via their colors. Like you have mechanical in blue. I think they did some structural elements in red and stuff like that. Or orange is for the mechanic, or for the HVAC, but this is the blue is for the electrical. That's what it was. And so everything's kind of labeled, but building is not very pretty. This, I don't know why it's so tiny. It shouldn't be tiny. So this is what Illinois Institute's of Architecture's buildings like. Mies was very famous for these very simple steel and concrete structures. He liked elevating things from the plane. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I don't care. But yeah, so Mies was very, very minimalistic in his architecture. The person who designed my architecture building, it's a bit rough. But I will defend it to the hilt because I love that building, because I spent 2 years in that building. I spent 2 years in Engineering West. No, Engineering East. No, it was Engineering West. It's been a while. But Engineering West had all the construction management and stuff like that. And then the second and third year architecture studios, so I spent 2 years there, 2 years at the architecture building, and then spent a year abroad where I was in Germany for 6 months, and then spent 3 months in San Diego doing a co-op. That was a pretty cool program. I really liked that one. Architecture firm I worked at taught me a lot. Basically, you did 20 hours a week doing schooling and stuff like that, and you spent 20 hours a week doing actual work. And I worked on some schools, some small renovations and stuff like that. It was really neat. Got to learn how to use 3D printing technology because I was 10 blocks away from the library. The library in San Diego, in downtown San Diego, had a maker lab up on the, I think, 9th or 10th floor. And that's where I learned how to do all the 3D printing stuff, because they had a bunch of maker bots up there. It's pretty neat. I'm just looking around. We're now fully over the ocean. So this is what, well, minus the land over there, this is what it will look like when we go to Britain. We'll be flying into Heathrow. We will then be doing some regional flights around there. I will be taking requests starting next week for places to fly. I know Marmite will want to do... No, I will not do a barrel roll, Josh, you numpty. Although I can do one in this. Maybe later. But we'll be going to Wales. We'll be going to Ireland, Mikey, so that way I can come visit you, buddy. And then we're all going to Scotland, because I want to teach y'all how to drink proper whiskey. Because that is where I learned how to drink whiskey. Learned in Edinburgh, if you watch the first video on this channel. Maybe it's the second video. Actually, no, it might be the third video, because I did 3 things in quick succession when I started up this channel. I had the animation, that was actually there for a long time. Then I had the intro video. What's your Victor? Victor, that's... Airplane's a great movie. I don't think I can actually play any of that, or else this will get demonetized. Towers radio clearance over. That's clearance over. Over. Good stuff. Airplane was great. Wonderful comedy. We are, of course, dropping our mind control agent over the fishes. So that way
Whiskyfile
the
1765 contact Jacksonville Center on 126.75.
Actually, no, Todd. See, YouTube, in all their shadiness, is they will put ads on videos, but they will give you a strike or something like that, and that can carry on. So, let's say hypothetically, I get like 10 viewers, more than the 4 I think I'm currently with.
1765. Did you copy?
Nope. Yes, I did. I did copy. I'm paying attention to my radio.
126.75 Whiskyfile 1765.
But it's just a mark on the channel, and I'd really rather not do that.
Jacksonville Center Whiskyfile 1765 flight level tree 40.
And, like, in the...
File 1765 Jacksonville Center continue to daily as planned.
I don't know if you guys remember the Remarkably Mediocre channel I had, but it had some strikes and stuff like that on it, and... Well, not strikes, but just demonetized just because I would use music or something like that, and it irked me. I don't want that for this channel. So I want to try and keep it as clean as possible. So, maybe someday. Well, maybe as like a small frame or something like that, it'd be fine, but it'll always pick up the audio and stuff like that, so I try to avoid that as best I can. All the music that I use is either original, that I've made, or it's YouTube safe music that's through their YouTube studio. So that's all the jazz stuff that they do, that they have that I can use. Yeah, some things are real sticklers. Like I had Universal claim something, and then I looked it up, and Universal didn't even own it, but they'll claim it. And the thing is, the appeals process for it is so stupid. Basically, it is. Here's how an appeal works, even to get something, remonetized, even if you don't have monetization. Basically, the appeals process is, I get demonetized, so that means all funding would then go to whoever claimed it. I have to then appeal that through YouTube, and the person that approves the appeal is the person that made the demonetization claim. Yeah. That's YouTube in a nutshell. And they don't care because they want to appease the people that are paying them money. They've long since abandoned their smaller creators and stuff like that. They just really don't give a shit. But Google long since abandoned their motto of "don't do evil." I mean, for just showing the leftist mug, I'd probably get my channel taken down, because they don't even like that. They'll censor just about anyone. Because they do not believe in the First Amendment, which is the reason why we are flying to the free state of Florida. From Doug's communist Maryland. Although his communist state is not as bad as my communist state. His is like communist light. Mine's full on Stalinist. You like gladiator movies? Yeah, copyright's even sort of weird because things are supposed to go into public domain, but Disney keeps lobbying to get that pushed back further and further because they don't want to risk losing Mickey Mouse, because I think Mickey Mouse officially was shown as Steamboat Willie back in like 1928, and originally things went into public domain, I want to think after like 50 or 60 years or something like that. And now it's like well over 90 years because they don't want to lose Mickey Mouse. Because while we're here, let's look at this. Oh my goodness. Yeah. There's my lovely plane. Yeah, so this is how I did all the footage and stuff for like my safety video. But let's see what's back here. This is where people sit. They did not model any of this. But we got back here where the stewardesses are. Oops, actually we'll do... Ah! I fell out of the plane. Hang on. Reset position. So back here is, you know, where stewardess, we got the sort of small galley and everything like that back here. Storage and everything. Same thing up here. They just don't model the interiors, which is unfortunate. We've got baggage. This is where all the luggage would be. Forward and aft. Oh, they don't ever show the aft one. There's my little whiskey glass. No, these are the hub caps basically, because that's where the landing gear is. That's where the fans are. See, it's a really low poly thing because they just can't spin them up that fast. It's a way of basically cheating digitally, which is kind of cool. The distinct chevrons of the 787 Max's engines. Ah. Disappear when I enter the cockpit. That's what we look like. And because we're progressive, we allow ladies on the plane too. It's just a joke just to anger people if they want to get angered. But we'll go back into the cockpit.
Generic 9er Zulu Bravo, contact Jacksonville Center on 134.0. Good day.
Also, as part of a sort of New Year's thing, I actually cleaned up my apartment and everything. It was nice. It was long overdue. I had Amazon boxes everywhere. Yeah, copyrights are really stupid. I didn't even know Facebook did... Okay, so the national anthem, that isn't the public domain. I can play that right now if I wanted to. YouTube Studio allows me to. That's ridiculous. What a bunch of tyrants at Facebook. Facebook needs to be destroyed. The whole meta thing is genuinely terrifying. But I think everyone knows that it's stupid, so I think it's going to fall apart. Hope it does. Wouldn't mind seeing Zuckerberg with all his Zuckerbucks go to Zucker bankrupt.
134.0 Whiskyfile 1765. Jacksonville Center Whiskyfile 1765 flight level 340.
Whiskyfile 1765 Jacksonville Center, continue to daily as planned.
So that's Danny right there. I guess that's what they call it, but I just call it D-Danny. Classmates.com is free. See, I don't even go on Facebook, to be honest. I mean, I've got a couple of high school friends we keep in contact, but we can communicate any which way. I usually see one of them regularly. The other one, she's kind of a bit of a hard one to nail down, because I think she now moved to like Utah, but at least I think so. It is our song. Because America... Actually, I wonder... Wait, can I do this? Let's see. I gotta go through... Ignore that. I gotta see if I actually have this on here. I gotta go through all my things. There's video... Because I could put an American flag behind this if I really wanted to. Stock footage? Is this where... Let's see, is this what... Oh, no, it's not in that one. Where is it? This one? Yeah, my file structure is not the best. I don't know what I did with that. Oh, that's where it is. That's why. See, it's always fun to try and figure out where you actually placed things for videos. I guess I don't have it on here. Well, I'll do this instead. I know where that is. And I'll throw in another media source. Okay, browse, go to my stock footage. Okay, we'll do that. I'm going to then go to studio.youtube.com. Search America. Actually, the national anthem would probably work just fine. There it is. I found it.
Jacksonville Center Jet, Center 1007 is at flight level 3905, descending 10,000 feet.
So I'm going to turn it to
Jet
that.
1007 Jacksonville Center, continue as planned.
Why is it not playing? That's silly. It should be. Oh well. Alright, we'll just play it through here then. And that is our song. That was a beautiful rendition. I just picked the first one that was Star Spangled Banner. That was nice. U.S. Army one started next. It's also a good one. Watch, that'll probably be demonetized and stricken down for having a symbol of oppression or something like that. Wouldn't surprise me. But that's the way tyrants work. Yeah, a little bit. I'll put you in timeout there, Mr. Russian bot spam. And report. Thank you. Timed out for 5 minutes, and I gave him a little bit of a report because, sorry broski, we do not do Russian spam around here. We don't do any spam around here, except for actual spam. Spam is delicious when fried and made spam musubi, because that is amazing. Wait, have you guys ever had spam musubi? Because spam musubi is delicious. Basically, it's spam sushi. You just fry it up, put a little bit of soy sauce, a little mixture of other things, then wrap it in rice, a little bit of seaweed. Ooh, that's good eating. Damn it, I made myself hungry. See, this is the problem. I think about food, and then all of a sudden I'm starving. Well, we'll get this plane on the ground, and then I'm going to make myself some food. Oh, there's a plane over there. Hello, plane. Hi, I'm waving to you. Can't see what you are, but hi, friend. Let's check out. Judging from where I am, actually no, I'm down here. Judging from where I am, it might be Delta. That might be a Delta Airlines flight flying down to Orlando. So that looks to be about the right position. Right? Is that where I am? It's always what you want to hear from a pilot. Is that where I am? Oh wait, no, I'm down much further south. Ah, that's where I am. See, I'm close enough to the coast. Might be. I just don't know. It's hard to tell because I just don't have a label on it. Fried spam in brown sugar and mustard. Ooh. And have that with your eggs. Oh man, that does sound delicious. See, I don't have any spam in my apartment, unfortunately. But I do have some pastrami, and I do have some sourdough. I might make myself a sandwich. Breakfast for dinner is delicious. Breakfast for lunch is also fantastic. Just breakfast foods in general.
Generic Niner Zulu Bravo, contact Miami Center on 124.1. Good day.
Alrighty, folks, we are. Let's see, how far away are we? 24, 16, we are 20 miles away from D. Daney there. Mix the mustard and brown sugar, then glaze for spam. Good to know. That does sound delicious. So speaking of making a glaze for something for potatoes, this is something that it's been a little while since I've done it, but it is really good. I make sort of basically fried potato, or make it for like French fries or something like that. Throw the fries in the pan. Basically, either just chopped potato, or you can even use frozen if you want to make it easy on yourself. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Add in sugar as you're cooking it, and add it in a few times, just kind of get a good glaze as you're cooking it. Then you add a bit of basil and a bit of cinnamon, and it gives it this nice mixture of an earthy flavor with the just a beautiful cinnamon taste, and it is exactly what you're describing there, of a sweet and tangy. It is fantastic, and will probably complement, or just be a good complement with the Spam. So make yourself like a Spam sandwich with that. Have some potatoes on the side. Ooh, it is heavenly. And unfortunately, I do not have any measurements for it, so you just kind of try it out. But it is some good potatoes. So welcome, brothers. We are in the airspace, at least, of the free state of Florida. We will be landing shortly. So, as per the usual, ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in the full upright position. The flight attendants...
1765, contact Miami Center on 124.1.
Sorry, the radio just popped in. Yes, I knew.
124.1
Trying
for
to tell
Whisky
my
File
passengers
1765.
something. Thank you. The flight attendants are currently passing around the cabin to make their final compliance checks and pick up any remaining cups and glasses. Make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened and all carry-on luggage is stowed underneath the seatbelt in front of you or in the overhead bins. Thank you. Nah, you wouldn't hear that at 34,000.
Generic 70 Bravo, contact Miami Center on 124.1. Good day.
Oop, I forgot to turn the radio because I was being sassy to the
Miami Center Whisky
ATC.
File 1765, flight level 340.
Whiskyfile 1765 Miami Center. Continue to Danny as planned.
Miami Center, generic November 3570 Bravo, 10,000 feet.
Generic November 3570 Bravo Miami Center altimeter 30.26 continue as planned.
You are. See, I saw someone else write that as well. Now we're doing IFR flights. Although I had another Russian spammer say something similar, so might just be a spammy feller. Josh, that is accurate. It is quite nice. See, like with Mayday. Mayday is all about flying fast and killing people. My flight's a lot smoother, a lot nicer, very relaxing. This is about just simply, hey Duncan,
Miami Center, Jet Center 100.
happy for you to join us, buddy.
335, descending 10,000 feet.
You are actually just in time. I'm about to do my landing.
Continue as planned.
So we're currently at 34,000 feet. Within, looks like about 80 miles from Miami. So, see, 80 miles is, brain stopped working. About 130 kilometers, I think. Maybe 140. So we are close to landing. We'll be doing our descent. So happy to have you on board. Yeah, but you won't be cheering if you've seen my track record of landings. It has been dodgy. Let's see. My first flight almost crashed into another plane going into Seattle. Had a loop around. Then basically, I think I crashed just short, and then just kind of skidded along the runway. Second flight, I think that was the Cirrus. The Cirrus I knew how to fly. That one's a easier plane, so I think I landed okay with that one. The third flight to Chicago, I think I did the same thing. I think I landed just short of it. That one was real sketchy. And then, of course, my famous flight into JFK. Or no, JFK was a smooth... What was that one? See, I've had so many flights now. It's hard to keep it all track. But I know that my Baltimore landing, that one I overshot the runway. That was really funny. No, my JFK flight was actually pretty nice. That one I did pretty smoothly.
Miami Center, Air Canada 914 is at flight level 3905, descending 10,000 feet.
Air Canada 914 Miami Center, continue as planned. Going to 1 tree, 4 decimal 0 rouge, 164 tree.
So we are now over the free state of Florida, approaching Miami.
Miami Center, generic November, 615 Tango Sierra, is at 15,700 feet, descending 10,000 feet. Generic November, 615 Tango Sierra, Miami Center, altimeter 30.26, continue as planned. Airfront 178 traffic is 11 o'clock 3 miles at flight level 320 generic. Report them in sight.
So I'm just clearing up some tabs here.
Air France 178 traffic in sight.
Man, this is such a pretty game. See, what's neat is, like with this game, I have this completely unmodded. There's only a few things that I've added into it, you know, some aircraft and stuff like that, but yeah, Todd, I remember that. Circling around. Well, that was because the ATC put me right on top of another plane. That was just not cool. I wasn't speeding or anything. I was maintaining my speed. So that was on ATC. But yeah, that landing was rough. Granted, I'd only had the game for like about 2 weeks at that point, maybe 3. I mean, I still only have like about 70 hours of flight time in total in this game. Which is far less than what you should have to be able to fly a bird like this. Huh. Emergency escape rope if you need it. Huh. Never saw that. Oh, there's one over there. Spare bulbs. I don't see any lights around here. Maybe that's for goats' special stash. What's over here? See, now we're just having fun. Oh, it's a speaker. No spare bulbs for me, just for my co-pilot. So we're now flying over Danny. So we are now making our turn. Yeah, that's just all autopilot. It's nice. Autopilot's nice. It's just following my flight path that I didn't program it in, because you can do that all before, because dealing with this in-game is very clunky. I just don't like doing it. I probably could, but I don't. I'm going to bring that down to, don't need to look at that. It wasn't 2 hours of circling the Seattle airport. It was only about a half hour, though. Still took a while. It was rainy as hell. Then again, when isn't rainy as hell in Seattle? It's like, I think 2/3 of its days are rainy.
Airfront 178 traffic is 9 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 350 generic. Report them in sight.
Yeah, but you're already on the flight. You have no choice. I'm all you got. But see, people appreciate honesty. Right? Don't they? I mean, you all got on this flight after my landing at BWI. Y'all know what I fly like.
Envoy 4154 traffic in sight.
Launchpad McQuack. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, but you all have your seatbelts on now. We ain't opening the doors. We ain't letting you out. You're stuck. Plus, as per FAA guidelines, that door is locked. You can't get in here. Haha, suck it, nerds. Alright, we should be starting our descent soon. So they should be giving us our descent profile shortly. We've got only about a 40 knot wind right now. It is a bit of a sheer wind, but
Jet Center 1007, contact Miami Center on 132.25. Good day. Whiskyfile 1765, contact Miami Center on 132.25. Good day.
Going to 132.25 Jet Center 1007.
Whiskyfile 1765, did you hear my last transmission?
I did not. Yes, I'll
132.25 for Whiskey File 1765. Miami Center Whiskey File 1765, flight level 340.
Whiskyfile 1765, Miami Center, continue to GREAD as planned. Cessna 2 Papa Zulu, contact Palm Beach approach on 132.8. Good day.
Yeah, that's how the 8-ball works in this one.
132.8 Cessna 2 Papa Zulu.
One of these days we will do a drinking flight.
Miami Center, Air Canada 914 is at flight level 335, descending 10,000 feet.
Air Canada 914 Miami Center, continue as planned.
Yeah, I'm having fun in the chat.
Generic Oscar, you are 67 miles southeast. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet.
Oh, it's not pronounced Oscar, it's pronounced ooh.
Clear to Keiki.
That's what I assume. Like I said, it's the simple things that amuse me. Y'all know this already.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 17 left approach by a Keiki transition. Clear to Keiki. Generic Oscar.
Josh, that's pretty good. That's really good. Yeah, see, not for me, so it's fine. When we land, we'll give you a bottle of bourbon. Just for, Because you're my friend. I don't want to reward unruly passengeriness, but eh.
Aero Cabo 86 contact Miami Center on 127.2. Good day.
We got an aircraft coming at us. I don't know where. Oh, it's below me, I see him. Oh wait, no, that's not that plane. Where the hell is this plane? That should be down below us or something. There is a plane that's flying at us. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Everything is fine.
Oscar, contact Miami Center on 127.2. Good day. Generic 2, Quebec Sierra contact Miami Center on 127.2.
Now the next checkpoint is Espresso. But don't they know there's not an X in it? It's pronounced Espresso.
124.1 generic 2 Victor Papa.
Yeah, the stupid things that amuse me. Y'all doing good?
Miami
Todd?
Center, generic November
How's the duct tape?
1 Juliet Sierra is passing flight level 280, descending 10,000 feet. Generic November
Yes, sir, it is.
1 Juliet Sierra Miami Center, continue as planned.
It is a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and I quite enjoy it. Fortunately, I have a graphics card that can handle it. I am only playing at 1080p, but I only have a 1080p monitor, so...
Jet Center 1007, you are 63 miles north.
It's okay, the marshals are dabbing him.
10,000 feet. Expect vendors, visual runway 5 approach. Generic 2 Whiskey Charlie contact Palm Beach departure on 123.625.
So Todd, does that mean you're getting sleepy?
Going to 123.625 generic 2 Whiskey Charlie.
Man, I really want a sandwich. You want a flight attendants to give me a sandwich, but we're about to do our descent, so I'll make the sandwich after. There's an airport there, KSUA. I wonder what airport that is. KSUA. That is Witham Field Airport, Stuart, Florida. Interesting. Don't even know where Stuart, Florida is, but it's right down there.
14UR82 miles north. Descent and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 10 left approach via Foxtrot Lima Lima transition. Clear to Foxtrot Lima Lima. Whiskyfile 1765 descend and maintain flight level 210.
Yes, ma'am.
Descend and maintain flight level 210 Whiskyfile 1765.
Miami Center service EOS integral 66 is at 14,700 feet, descending 10,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1765 contact Miami Center on 132.15. Good day. Service EOS integral 66 Miami Center altimeter 30.27 continue as planned.
Alright, our descent has begun.
Miami Center generic Golf Alpha Juliet 503 is at flight level 260 descending 10,000 feet.
Going to 132.15 Whiskyfile 1765. Miami Center Whiskyfile 1765 is passing flight level 335, descending flight level 210.
Whiskyfile 1765 Miami Center continue to YAPPA as planned.
She said pee
Miami
pee.
Center Jet Center 1007 feet.
Jet Center 1007 Miami Center altimeter 30.27 continue as planned.
Alright. Russians are annoying me. It's not.
Miami Center,
They're
Alpha
just,
Niner 14 is at flight level
they're just
230,
spamming
descending
things. I don't
5,000
like that.
feet.
Air Canada Niner, 14 Miami Center, continue to Foxtrot Lima Lima as planned.
Let's see here. As moderator, because I just realized I could do this. Duncan, where are you? Duncan. Okay, there you are. And as moderator. There you are. Look, you got blues next to your name, so you can take care of any of the spam people too. I didn't even realize my channel was big enough to have spam. Ooh, this bold bird.
Contact Palm Beach approach on 128.3. Good day. Generic 7 Bravo Delta contact Miami Center on 132.45. Good day. Southwest 239er, you are 34 miles northeast. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 10 left approach via Foxtrot Lima Lima transition. Clear to Foxtrot, Lima, Lima.
Going to 132.45, generic 7 Bravo Delta. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 10 left approach by a Foxtrot Lima Lima transition. Clear to Foxtrot Lima Lima Southwest 239er. 128.3, generic 0 Echo Charlie. Miami Center, generic November 207 Bravo Charlie is at flight level 290, descending 10,000 feet.
Southwest 239er, contact Miami approach on 128.6. Good day. Generic November 207 Bravo, Charlie Miami Center, continue as planned.
128.6 Southwest 239er.
Alrighty, let's bring us down just a little bit more. Show this update. Got a little bit of rain coming in here, but should be okay. We should stay above it. Out of the way.
Heavy, you are 64 miles northeast. Descend and maintain
Frontier Flight
3,000
2939.
ILS runway 8 right approach by Delta Hotel Papa transition. Clear to Delta Hotel Papa.
2939. They're a heavy flight. Makes me wonder what they are. They're also flying into Miami.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 8 right approach by Delta
What kind of
Hotel Papa
aircraft?
transition. Clear to Delta Hotel Papa Frontier Flight 2939er heavy.
It's an Airbus A320, and that is not a heavy aircraft. The only designations that you have for heavy aircraft are pretty much the 747, the 777 would probably be 787 if fully loaded. The A380 definitely would. But yeah, the heavy designation would not be for a small jet like the A320. The A320 is
For contact Miami Center on 132.45. Good day.
bye-bye, get out. Any old SNL fans out there? Because there aren't any new SNL fans. They don't exist.
14 traffic is 8 o'clock 4 miles at 11,600 feet.
But yeah, the A320 is the size of the 737. They're basically competing aircraft.
132.45.
That does not make sense.
484.
Could also just be getting its wires crossed.
The generic in sight.
Oh, someone drank all my tea. It was me. I got some messages.
Miami Center Coyote 461 is passing 5,800 feet, climbing 10,000 feet.
Generic 0 Tree Golf, you are 14 miles north. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 5 approach. Envoy 4239er, contact Miami Center on 132.45. Good day. Whiskyfile 1765, descend and maintain 11,000 feet. Keep speed not above 250 knots.
I take that as a compliment. Thank you, sir.
Charlie, you are 81 miles north. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 5 approach. Coyote 461 Miami Center altimeter tree 0.25. Continue as planned.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 5 approach. Generic 7 Bravo Charlie.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 5 approach. Generic 0 Tree Golf. Generic 0 Tree Golf contact Palm Beach approach.
Man, you just can't even acknowledge instructions because they're just constantly talking.
Descend and maintain 11,000 feet. Keep speed not above 250 knots. Whiskyfile 1765.
Going to 125.2 generic 0 Tree Golf.
Basically just descending into this soup, but we should avoid most of the rain. There's a little bit of rain outside Miami. A little bit on top of it too. That's typical of Florida in the afternoon. They pretty much always get rain there.
Whiskyfile 1765, contact Miami Center on 123.775. Good day. Air Canada 9er, 14, contact Miami approach on 118.1. Good day. Frontier Flight 29er 39er, heavy contact Miami Center on 123.775. Good day.
123.775 for Whiskyfile 1765.
123.
Miami Center Whiskyfile 1765 is at 17,100 feet, descending 11,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1765 Miami Center altimeter tree 0.2 tree. Continue to send as planned.
Alrighty.
Miami Center Frontier Flight 29er 39er heavy is passing 12,900 feet, descending 3,000 feet.
Frontier Flight 29er 39er heavy Miami Center altimeter tree 0.2 tree. Continue to Delta Hotel Papa as planned.
Miami Center generic November 207 Bravo Charlie is at 12,700 feet, descending 10,000 feet.
Never ask the marshal to silence you, just duct tape you to the chair. There was a flight where someone did get duct taped to the chair once. Let's see if I can find it.
Whiskyfile 1765 traffic is Zeta Clark 4 miles at 12,000 feet Airbus A20N. Report them in sight. Southwest 239er, contact Miami approach on
Yeah, I got them.
138.6. Good day. Frontier Flight 29er 39er heavy traffic is 12 o'clock 4 miles at 14,600 feet Boeing. Report them in sight.
Whiskyfile File 1765, have the traffic.
128.6 for Southwest 239er.
Let's see here if I can find this image.
Miami Center Coyote 461 is passing 9,000 feet, descending 2,000 feet.
Coyote 461 Miami Center altimeter tree 0.23.
Yeah.
Continue as planned.
That was her.
Frontier Flight 29er heavy traffic is 5 o'clock 4 miles at 12,700 feet generic.
I forgot the story for the whole thing, but
Generic 7 Bravo Charlie traffic is 11 o'clock 4 miles at 10,900 feet Airbus A20N.
basically the woman was trying to exit the plane mid-flight, so Marshall took her down, duct taped her to to an isolated seat, and that was it.
Heavy traffic in sight. Generic 7 Bravo Charlie traffic in sight.
Alright, we are slowing down. We're at 184 knots right now, but we're not going to extend our flaps because I do not want to slow down further
Frontier
yet.
Flight 29er heavy contact Miami approach on 120.5.
Essentially, we're getting into a holding pattern here. We got Frontier behind us and below. So we'll see what they do.
Going to 120.5 Frontier Flight 29er heavy.
We're beginning our turn.
Coyote 461.
Basically, we're going to be doing our, it's called upwind and downwind, that's what it is. So we're doing our upwind pass.
File 1765 contact Miami approach on 120.5. Good day.
120.5.
So upwind pass is this pass here, and then downwind is the one that comes into the runway.
Miami approach Whiskyfile 1765 is passing 11,300 feet, descending 11,000 feet.
I figure right now it should do
Whiskyfile
this.
1765 Miami approach altimeter tree 0.24 continue to BLYMY as
We're a
planned.
bit high, but
Whiskyfile 1765 descend and maintain 8,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Whiskyfile 1765.
Whiskyfile 1765 traffic is 6 o'clock, 2 miles at
Harsh.
8,600 feet Airbus A20N. Report them in sight.
these guys aren't just it's there.
Whiskyfile 1765 contact Miami Center on 123.775. Good day.
Going to 123.775. Whiskyfile 1765.
Yeah, so that plane is right behind us.
Miami Center Whiskyfile 1765 is passing 9,900 feet, descending 8,000 feet.
Okay.
File 1765 Miami Center altimeter
So at least you won't be
tree
on top of
0.24
us.
continue to Duna as
That's
planned.
good.
Whiskyfile 1765 contact Miami approach on 120.5. Good day.
We are now in the thick of it.
120.5 Whiskyfile 1765. Miami approach Whiskyfile 1765 is passing 9,000 feet, descending 8,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1765 Miami approach altimeter tree 0.24 continue to Manila as planned.
Madonna.
Whiskyfile
Interesting.
1765 traffic is 8 o'clock, 2 miles at 7,800 feet Airbus A20N.
Yeah, I
Report
see
them
him.
in sight.
I mean, not really in
Whiskyfile
sight, but
1765 you are 6 miles north. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS runway 9er approach.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS runway 9er approach. Whiskyfile 1765. Whiskyfile 1765 have the Airbus A20N in sight.
You know, so he's taking a different approach there, so we should be fine. At least we hope so. Drop flaps again. Ooh, we're getting a bit of a tailwind here. Got a 9-knot wind behind us, so that's a little bit of turbulence, but it should be good. Yeah, this is pretty. Volumetric clouds are cool.
Whiskyfile 1765, you are 400 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 8,000 feet altimeter, tree 0.24.
I acknowledged. She's climbing back up. She just undershot it because we hit some wind.
Whiskyfile 1765,
Yep.
did you copy?
Yes, sir.
Climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Whiskyfile 1765.
Now. Let's keep things clean. No one needs to talk about their other flaps.
Frontier Flight 29er, tree 9er, heavy traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles at 2,500 feet, Airbus A20M. Report them in sight. Frontier Flight 29er, tree 9er, heavy, you are 6 miles west of Miami. Contact Miami Tower on 118 decimal tree when inbound on the approach.
Now what's cool is you can actually see the aircraft here on the radar. So here's one plane here coming in for an approach onto another one of the runways. We're actually looping
Tower
around.
on 118 decimal tree,
Land
Frontier Flight 29er, tree 9er,
on
heavy.
9. And you can see another one right here. They're basically coming into, I'm guessing runway 130, 120, something like that. Now, I should probably... which one is it? Approach mode, that's what I wanted. So hopefully it will ping on the things, and we'll get our approach, because I cannot see through any of this right now. This is thick cloud layers. So I will be sort of paying attention to the chat, but for the most part, I'm going to be trying to land this bird. Now, because we had a bit of a headwind, it's a little bit longer flight than we expected, but we'll be landing shortly, and that should be quite nice. Can't see the runway yet. It should be right about right in here. Dropping flaps to 10 degrees now. This will help decrease our speed some more. .75 milliliters is pretty small. I mean, a milliliter is pretty small. But I get what you're trying to say is 0.75 liters, because 750 milliliters is usually the standard for a whiskey bottle.
Execute 427, you are tree 2 miles west. Descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Expect vectors localizer, runway 8 left approach. Whiskyfile 1765, descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
Yes, sir.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Whiskyfile 1765.
Whiskyfile 1765, you are 16 miles west of Miami. Maintain present heading and altitude. Contact Miami Tower on 118.3.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 118.3 Whiskyfile 1765. Miami Tower Whiskyfile 1765, 15 miles west inbound ILS runway 90 approach.
Whiskyfile 1765, Miami Tower. Altimeter tree 0.2 tree with 0907 and 21. Cleared ILS runway 90 approach.
Cleared ILS runway 90 approach Whiskyfile 1765.
Here we go.
Frontier flight 29er tree 9er heavy turn next taxiway.
Now, we won't be able to see the runway just yet. They're going to probably direct us down to about 2,000 feet, most likely, on the final approach. And then what we're going to do is we're going to disable autopilot. I'm going to disable the auto throttle, because that's what's actually maintaining my speed right now. It's maintaining it compared to the stall speed. It's basically just putting us just right above what should be worrisome. But we're well within safe margins.
Heavy turn next taxiway. Frontier flight 29er tree 9er heavy contact ground on 121 decimal 8. Decimal 8 for Frontier flight 29er tree 9er heavy.
Okay, so it's overcorrecting just a little bit. So we're going back over. There might have been, I wasn't paying attention. I do live within the flight path of a handful of airports. I can see some of the different texturing of the plan, courtesy of Bing Maps. There is a mod to actually put it to Google, but I haven't done that yet. I'm dropping clouds to 25 degrees. Yeah, it's a good plane though. Cessnas are great to learn in. Drop our landing gear. We are flying pretty darn low, pretty darn slow, so we look to be doing actually pretty decently right now. As far as our descent, we're getting a little bit of rain. Yeah, and I mean, it was probably definitely something flying over. Because my mic on here is not the best. I can see Miami there, just off in the distance. Let's see if we can actually see the runway. We can, in fact, see the runway. Alright, I might drop my flaps all the way down. 35. We're going to take over. We are way too high right now, and we're going to turn off auto throttle.
Whiskyfile 1765, wind 107 and 20.
765.
Okay, runway is in sight. Oh, we gotta get down. Gotta get down. Come on. We're way too high. We're basically doing a very aggressive approach.
2500.
Ah, damn it. We might miss the runway. Come on. Come on.
$1,000. $500. $400. $300. $200.
Oh,
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Miami Tower, Envoy 4051, 8 miles west inbound RNAV runway 9er approach. Envoy 4051, Miami Tower. Altimeter tree 0 decimal 2 tree wind 107 at 20. Cleared RNAV runway 9er approach. Cleared RNAV runway 9er approach, Envoy 4051. Whiskyfile 1765, turn next taxiway. Whiskyfile 1765, contact ground on 121 decimal 8.
for Whiskyfile 1765.
Envoy 4051 with 107 at 20. Cleared to land runway 9er.
Miami ground Whiskyfile 1765 taxi to the gate.
Whiskyfile 1765 taxi to gate 151 using taxiway Tango Sierra, cross runway 30 Sierra Papa.
Taxiing to gate 151 using taxiway Tango Sierra, cross runway 30 Sierra Papa Whiskyfile 1765.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Miami International Airport. The local time is 3:48 in the afternoon. The temperature is 77 degrees or 25 degrees Celsius. And it is actually, yeah, it's a little bit cloudy, but hey, it's a relatively nice day in Miami. Oops. No, we don't need to speed like that. Now, hopefully you're, now let's see here. What am I saying here? Now, for your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the fasten seatbelt sign is turned off. This will indicate that we have parked at the gate and that it is safe for you to move about the cabin. At this time, you may use your phones, but please keep personal electronics such as laptops stowed. And if you have a desktop set up for this flight, wow, you're rude. And the guy in the seat next to you is really mad about you encroaching on his space. Now please check around. Oops. I'm just reading my script here. Please check around your seat for any personal belongings that you may have brought on board with you, and please use caution when opening the overhead bins, as heavy articles may have shifted around during flight. Remember, anything left will be sold and all proceeds will be used for whiskey. If you require assistance off the plane, please remain in your seat until all of the passengers have disembarked. Especially if you are too inebriated, someone will happily help you out. Either by helping you up, or by giving you a quick swift boot in the rear, or in Todd's case, undoing all the duct tape. Now, on behalf of Whiskyfile, Spirit Airlines, and to the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See, I don't know where. Thank you, Josh, for taking care of the spammer. No, it actually did not come out on PS4, not that I'm aware of. I think it's only on Xbox and PC, given that it's Microsoft, so that would make sense. I do not know where Tommy Rossetti's mansion is, but if you do, feel free to take a taxi to it. I just want to go there. I just want to go there. Why won't you let me go there? Uh-oh. Oh, well, I guess we crashed. Well, better late than never, but yeah, the game just crashed. Oh, well. Oh, that's funny. That's pretty funny. Alright, well, put my technical difficulties thing here. Well, at least I got to land the aircraft. That was cool. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining us on our flight today. Enjoy Miami. Enjoy the free state of Florida. They are the only state, or one of the only states, that actually abides by the Constitution and the law. So I thank you for flying there today with me. Next week we will be flying some freedom to the UK because they are in desperate need of some American freedom. So we will be flying it in the wonderful 777 freighter variant that I have put a lovely livery on for Whiskyfile Logistics. So please look forward to that. We'll probably be doing that either next Saturday or next Sunday. I have not decided yet. But it should be a wonderful, delightful flight. It will be a long one. That will be close to a 7-hour flight. So if you want to be on here for the whole thing, I'll make sure to have a sandwich on hand, as well as probably some whiskey towards the end of it. But all that, please give a like, subscribe, comment, share, all the YouTube-y things. Thank you for managing the spam, Josh. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for joining, and I will see you in the next one. And as one of my favorite YouTubers, the 74 Gear says, keep the blue side up.